Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Moving right there, but Shaden is certainly a personality, to say the least, in this league. Plays a lot with momentum, and now Dignitas have the momentum coming into Game 3.
And yeah, we have our first Game 3 of the group stage, so that's really fun as Dig continue to take that Gwen off the table in addition to Vi sticking on the ban list, and then Shopify have decided to remove both Jace and Akali, and now Aurora.
Okay, this is the test. We have not seen, at least according to my stats, we have not seen B-Boy on the Varus. Let's see if the Dignitas actually leave it up, and if they want to allow B-Boy the chance, or if they're going to predict that B-Boy doesn't want to play it, because that's been my read, is that B-Boy maybe just doesn't like the champ, but it's so good. I feel like you have to be able to play it. And it's up!
I feel like B-Boy will play it. I feel like they just lock in Varus.
The pressure is on.
We're going to learn. We're going to learn something about Shopify Rebellion's champ pool here. You have to be able to play. I feel like in this meta, if you are not able to, it is such a crutch.
Nope.
It's just a hover. I'm waiting with bated breath, though, because this has been a question on my mind watching Shopify's draft for a bit now. And so far, it's looking like they leave it up. They don't lock in the Varus.
I would also really highly prioritize Yone right now.
Yeah.
So the thing that they left them both up, this doesn't necessarily fully give you that, obviously Shopify have Varus a little bit lower priority, but he did play it in split number 1 a while back.
Sure.
And I just think Yone right now is so powerful, even though the Sejuani was already used, and so it's, banned from Fearless. It still is a very powerful early, first pick worthy champion.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also something that Palafox really favors and is heavily favored in the past, right? Like when he was, I think, at his best, it was on that CLG NRG team where they could actually flex it between mid and top for him and Jokla. So as we see, Tomo is going to be end up piloting the Varus in this draft, and we have the Ziggs coming out.
Whenever you have, the investment of one of these AD mid laners, you're always looking for that balance. So definitely like that here. They immediately grab that up and they get the twofer, both AP carry for the Ziggs as well as the Lilia here for contract. So they've got that covered. All the things that you want here, with a Yone. So pretty good opening look, honestly, from Shopify here in the Fearless stage, the most fearless stage of the series.
We are the most fearless we've ever been in this draft, technically. As we see the Maokai locked in for Shaden, I remember talking to Inspired about this and how he mentioned that as junglers are kind of removed, Lilia ends up going higher and higher on the prio list, and it is some really nice setup for both especially for the Ziggs to kind of just do damage across.
Yeah, and I love it into things like Mbessa in particular, because she doesn't have a lot of hard CC. Yeah, the ultimate, but typically Lilia will be able to dance around the fight pretty well with something like an Mbessa showing. Maybe you get poked out with the Varus, but we'll see. The Maokai locked in, though. Presumably jungle for Shaden. That's going to be back-to-back tanks for him in the drafts.
Yeah, and Nico taken off the board. Aurelia taken off the board. By Shopify. That's an interesting one.
They're thinking maybe we're going to pick Gnar for Fudge or something like that, or like Aatrox.
Sure.
Like Aurelia pretty good into those types of things. So maybe it's along those lines, because Fudge is going to have the option here. Like, do I want to play into Mbessa? We can rotate stuff with solo lanes. Like, Yone has to worry a little bit about an Aurelia pick, and then you can flex pick the Mbessa around too.
Yeah, and as we see, Gnar immediately removed by Dignitas as well, so they don't want to see Fudge on that pick.
Unique story being told here in the pick and ban phase. You can see the focus of each team, and a respect to Surdy's Camille. They are not convinced that that's Mbessa going into the top lane. Has the ability to move around, so giving a lot of respect to Surdy's potential counter picks here.
Yep, and we'll see Blitzcrank.
Maokai Blitzcrank, one of the LCK staples. Love this combo. Maokai ultimate, such a wide, sweeping, spell that you can throw out, and then Blitzcrank follows up so well with this. Really high CC duo.
I can dig it.
Yeah. And then on the other side, the Pantheon hover is very interesting. You would want I do think you do want Seos on something where he can, again, move around the map. There we go.
But because we see the Lilia, we're assuming that's going to be that support Pantheon, of course. But that means it's not guaranteed hard engage. It's like single target. You can still build tanky, but it isn't like an Alistair type of tanky.
I also really like it because you can, even in lane phase, use it as a kill combo with Ziggs.
Yeah.
I always love, watching some LPL Ziggs players when they use some of these melee supports to set up the Ziggs and they actually have lots of burst damage, like Pantheon stun into satchel charge type of stuff. Maybe they can have some explosive plays of their own, and then benefit of Pantheon ult and Sion ults for later to play the map.
And I just heard from stats, first ever Pantheon game for Seos. There we go. That's pretty cool.
Interesting. And that Mbessa will be going into the mid lane, and Surdy will be piloting the Aatrox into this.
Yeah, Shopify were not fooled at all for a second.
Nope.
By the early flex grab. All right. Honestly, up for another banger. We got to bet now. Is this one going to beat the previous game?
Oh, that would
because if it did, then Shopify versus Dignitas, I believe, would have number 1, 2, and 3 of longest
Wow.
streams.
Okay. I kind of want that to happen just because it's really funny.
I think,
maybe your vocal cords can handle it. You know what?
Back in my day,
I have faith in you.
All right, thank you.
I believe in you.
We went 98 minutes back in the
the days before Elder Drake. I was not casting, but
I've heard the stories.
But there were some very long games.
It was 86 for us. Yeah, 86 minutes to dream. That was it. Good times. I remember them fondly. Yeah.
Do you actually remember?
I do.
86
because you just get so delirious with all the crazy stuff that's going on.
How many bears did you talk about is the question. Non-subscribers, we'll see you in 30 seconds, but for everybody else sticking around, Dignitas versus Shopify Rebellion. Will we get another top 5 longest games of the year? Let's get a Twitch poll rolling. How about that? I think that'd be pretty fun for right now. Maybe they can do that for me. But I do want to highlight something that Surdy did play the Aatrox into specifically Whippo on the Sion. Had a rough laning phase there. Fudge now with this matchup. Now, it's not the same player, of course, but I'm curious what Surdy learned from that last time around and how he's going to try and adapt to the matchup this time.
Yeah, and I'm just curious to see if either of these teams are going to be doing anything early.
Is anyone curious to see if Fudge is going to be accurate with his activatable items after
I am very curious.
The golden pose. The golden pose strategy didn't intimidate them apparently, because they ended up losing.
I think if anything, it encouraged them to engage.
But Sion doesn't buy a lot of activatable items. Maybe a Titanic Hydra or something.
You don't really know.
Can't really
it's
mess
not nearly
that
as cool when you do that one. Yeah. But actually, a reminder: we do have an update from production. If now this is a pretty big if, but bear with me. If this game lasts 68 minutes and 6 seconds, it will be the new North American record for the longest best of 3 series.
So it is. Wow. It is so hard in the current age of League of Legends to beat the old records because the game designers have put in all of these things to try and end games with Elder Dragon in there, and they're like,
the designer said, we'll do it ourselves. We're just going to end the game for you.
Yeah, they're like, surely with all of these, end game things we're putting in, we're going to, in modern League of Legends, you don't really go that long anymore. So honestly, it's impressive that we're even that close.
These two teams are very impressive for that, yes. I think, but yeah, I don't think we're getting past 60 minutes. Mainly just because of stuff like the Elder Drake, right? Like, there's so many things you need to fight around. They're just too high priority to give up.
Okay, I'm here.
Early hook in here from Miles. I mean, Seos is still arguably winning this, but Ignite goes down. B-Boy does not have the cooldowns to back him up, and the autos from Tobo flashing forward. That's going to be first blood picked up by Dignitas. One more. Oh, Seos lived! Level 2! Shopify Rebellion get level 2 earlier. Isles does land the hook. What on Seos gets it! What in the world was that?
Oh, you were so ready. You're like, okay, Dig get first blood, then maybe Shopify get the return kill in the back half. Really nice early play from Contracts, recognizing.
I have to shout out Busio from yesterday because he said something that cracked me up. He referred to a biscuit as a Mundo ult.
Yes, I remember that.
And Seos has biscuits in here, and he eats his biscuit when he's so low, and we'll see him survive here. Like, oh my goodness, I was cracking. Because Kangas even said, oh wow, Seos arguably winning this. But then he actually did it and survived and even stuck around to throw a spear and got hooked for it. And you're like, oh, he's been punished. Nope.
Well, because he cleared the minions. There we go. Yeah, gets the final hit. Oh, you can see Tomo. Oh,
he popped his
to himself.
He did.
That's great.
And I believe he waited till after the ignite, too. So that means less of that heal cut, but that's tough to really spot out in that exact moment. But man, what a tough play.
And that's a great start for the Shopify bot lane, right? Where they were really looking for that Blitzcrank to be making some early plays onto the potentially squishy Ziggs.
So I went.
But also heads up for B-Boy to hit the wave too.
I went to count as well. We have 5 Mundo ults, aka biscuits, in this game that we're taking. It is Fudge, B-Boy, Seos, as well as Tomo and Isles.
And little mini ones. Yeah, love to see it. Ooh, Palafox. So, yes, action happened on the bottom side, but I still want to talk a little bit more about this mid lane matchup because we haven't had a ton of time to fully give expectation for it. The Yone getting counterpicked by the Mbessa. Now, I have not seen this one to full effect yet, but what are some expectations? Is Mbessa just stronger immediately in lane, or does this take a little bit of time to come online? Kind of what's the theory behind this pick?
Theory is it is going to scale really, really nicely, plus has a good early lane versus Palafox. And he's gone for the Electrocute, so it's really bursty here. So you put a lot of threat as the Yone tries to go in there. And with your ultimates, plus a Maokai, you have a lot of kill pressure too. So pretty good options there, I think. And I want to see if this Electrocute and this burst damage, gets to shine early on, because those are the most fun Mbessas for me to watch. I don't know about you personally, but like you can go like the more bruisery builds, but I love like really high damage, full damage Mbessa looks, and Kaney with the teleport back here, and not the Maokai, but the Blitzcrank visits.
Another thing to point out, as is typical with a lot of Ziggs lanes, B-Boy has taken teleport as well, which, I mean, again, we talk about how Shopify do like to make those plays in side lanes. They now have 3 TPs plus Scion and Pantheon ult, so another really good setup for a lot of things they like to do. It also allowed him to get up to this top lane a lot more quickly than Tomo and Isles for this early swap to get top side prio for that first grub take.
Yeah, gets a big gold advantage. A lot of that from the kills as well, but denies some of that wave from Tomo. Has a solid CS advantage on top of the kill gold that they got. And now they're also here early for the grubs. That's the focus. Shaden's actually starting them off first.
And we'll see if Shopify are going to contest this.
Contracts is nearby, but isn't fully walking in.
Yeah, his smite there charge was waiting a little bit more. They can move in now after 2 have already been taken. They kind of push them out, but you saw the move up from Scion was kind of the big thing. Scion had pushed in the extra wave and then kind of trying to bully his way over. A level 6 Scion ultimate is super scary, and so that's why Dignitas are, you know what, hands up, fine. We'll just take 2, and we are happy to split them with you. We don't want Fudge to come barreling down through the river at us with that. And that's why one of the reasons I love early Scion especially, because you do have a big ability to push waves very quickly, and that ult can make so many team plays for you. And sometimes it's just the threat of that ult.
Sometimes just the threat. As we see on the screen there, Kobe, your point, Kaney is getting these big chunks onto Palafox with that Electrocute. Palafox has the Vampiric Scepter early, so going to try and heal up some of that damage, but won't be able to get all of it. But eventually, once you get into the Blade of the Ruin King, that's why I see, like, Yonis can take as much damage as they want. They're fine. They will just heal off of any wave, get back to full health. So Kaney does still have a lot more time to work with that.
Let me see. Blitzcrank camping in a brush, as always.
Yeah, he's got a little picnic set up. Does he have biscuits? He's got 1 biscuit. There you go. A biscuit, a potion. There, beverage, and a little meal. That's all I need for a picnic.
And as we see, Shaden starting up this early Drake, which is really nice, off of, again, that prio that Kaney has been able to get in mid.
Contracts will not spot this, so that's going to be Shaden earlier to the grubs and also earlier to this dragon. Should be able to secure this one, although now Contracts is... No, he's still on the red buff, never mind.
Yeah, they had also been like spam pinging it. I believe it was the retreat yellow pings.
Execution. Palafox predicted it.
He immediately put the inputs there, and so that is a lot of cooldowns earned. So the Mbessa pick, now you've got ult advantage, you have flash advantage. Like this thing is doing wonders already. So very deserving of that first pick for Caney. Let's see if they can further punish the Yone, because you're talking about taking a lot of abuse early, but then you get to your Blade of the Ruined King and you're fine. Well, the Blade of the Ruined King is pretty far away, and there's going to be a long cooldown here
with
where
the boots.
Palafox will be vulnerable.
So it wasn't the kill, but the cooldowns is big. Let's see how much that spills over into the grubs, because that's a minute 30 for that second spawn. Dignitas got 2. They won't be able to get the full 6 this time around, but getting all 3 would give them closer towards that Feats of Warfare 3 stack, and at least just getting 2 means that you can start pressuring these turrets a little bit more. So minute 20 now on the clock. I do expect Dignitas to try and play for those, especially knowing Palafox will not have that flash.
Yeah, and we'll see what Shopify's response is going to be. I like them sending this Ziggs into this mid lane, right? And then Palafox is going to be down on this bot side
TP
for
up
now.
By the grubs, yep. Oh, gets the cannon. Let's go, Fudge.
I think it's the first time you called him out for something like a...
Hey, you know, it's balance. It's balance.
That's good.
And also, it wasn't him taking turret shots last lane.
True.
But he does catch that. Will not have the ultimate available, though, for that grub fight if it breaks out. Although it's not going to be that much after cooldown, so unless Dignitas started immediately, maybe he will actually be able to have it for that scrap. But 30 seconds does not look like Shaden's going to rush there immediately. He's actually on the bottom side. So is Contract. So both of these junglers not going to try and get it immediately off of spawn. Instead, just keeping their own economy as strong as possible.
Caney, again, every single time, goes in for the trade, pushes Palafox back. He's always going to have priority here. And Mbessa ult, like, it's not, we don't mention it as, like, encroaching on, like, a Galio or Nocturne tier, but it's pretty long. It's, like, a decent amount of long range, you know, more than your average ultimate. So if you get the priority, chunking out your opponent, getting to roam first, too, and get a couple seconds early lead, then you can start to make some plays there, too. So we'll see the influence there that Caney will be able to transfer to the rest of the team. Currently, though, the setup for these grubs. All right, Maokai Blitzcrank. Let's see if we can see the combo in action.
Can we get round 2 fight? Shaden is here, Isles as well. Isles actually heading back towards the mid lane. When he's on vision, he's not a threat. So the fact that Shopify Rebellion saw him there means that they can walk up. Fudge now going to be the front line. 30 on the flank here. Seos is hiding in Fog of War. There goes the Maokai ultimate. B-Boy's going to try and get some damage in. There's the hook. Does land on the Seos. Throws up the shield immediately as the Ziggs bomb will trade damage. Now Surdy all alone. The rest of Dignitas zigged as he zagged, and now he gets caught out. That's a kill for Shopify Rebellion. That's 3 on the board as they teleport to Palafox. Goes for the ultimate, does not land it, and Dignitas get out. But Shopify Rebellion, they got their kill. They're going to get those grubs.
They dealt with the Maokai Blitzcrank so well because it's really telegraphed and they saw it coming. Have that Fudge, have that Zion right in front, soak up the ulti. And then even with, like, quote-unquote, like, threading the needle and grabbing Seos instead, he's ready with the Pantheon immunity.
Yeah.
And so they're able to turn it around. Then after the retreat, they just focus up on the isolated target. Nicely done for them to get the kill. And the Palafox did get the flash out of B-Boy, so now also the Varus will be super vulnerable with no flash afterwards. So Shopify actually accruing quite a few benefits from this.
Yeah, and as we're going to see that, right? Because only Fudge gets rooted up, and like you said, Kobe, Seos immediately is able to go there. And then, yeah, the big thing is just turning on to Surdy, right? They recognize that they can just take him out. Both TPs come in, and it just... There we go.
Yeah.
Getting the flash out of Tomo, which is, like you said, is going to be huge later on.
Yeah. Seeing the flash the second time around, though, I'm like, well, Fudge, you don't really... You know, he was standing in front before like you're supposed to.
He didn't have a zone.
And then at the last second, he was like, oh, I changed my mind. He flashed out. I thought that Isles had, like, threaded the needle and gotten the Pantheon, but Fudge actually ended up flashing as well. you know, he built the Titanic Hydra, so he's got an activatable.
Got the cannon earlier.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. Did get that cannon.
There we have it. As now it's the feats of warfare picked up from the first 3 kills. And now that's a neutral objective picked up, so they're tied in that. It could come down to the turret, though. Shopify Rebellion have the Ziggs available, and whenever I see a Ziggs on a composition, I think that can kind of blitz through these structures very fast. But currently it's Dignitas earlier to the Dragon yet again. Yeah,
and they should get this. Shopify know that they're there, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of contest coming out from them. You have Palafox pushing in this top side wave, and then getting mid lane prio with that Ziggs.
Yeah, and I will say, not to discredit B-Voy's Ziggs, but I really haven't seen a team in North America be able to play the early game Ziggs, just perma-pushing turrets and taking them quickly, as well as Team Liquid has. They're kind of the team that kind of started that trend. So B-Boy
APA is good on that champ, huh?
Yeah, APA is pretty good on that.
Okay.
So far, B-Boy hasn't been able to find much, but here we go. Topside fight as Palafox trying to make something happen with Seos, but Kaney flashes out and is fine.
Yeah, I think moving forward too, if we do look at some of those, you know, the pick setups from Dignitas, it is. I mean, we need to make sure that Fudge is able to like stand the ground and not panic the second time around. Like, you get in front and you stay there.
Well, currently he can't panic. He doesn't have the flash available.
Yeah,
so.
true.
Yeah, maybe that's good. Maybe this is like conditioning. Just always having a cooldown.
And the last one ended up fine.
It did.
He's got immunity, Pantheon, it's fine.
Age of Shield's a great ability. Remember when it could dodge turrets? I miss those days.
Look at that Titanic
you play
activated.
Pantheon.
I do play support Pantheon. Fun fact, that was, I'll get back to that. Kaney could be in some trouble. No, he is fine. Never mind. That was the meta that 100 Thieves actually won their split back in 2021 summer. Just fun fact right there. Another fun fact, Pantheon Ultimate's a very long cooldown. 3 minutes without any CDR.
That's
10
not fun
CDR.
for the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Not fun for the Pantheon, but it's a fact that I'm aware of because I cry about it all the time. 10 CDR makes it around like, I think 163 seconds, somewhere in that ballpark.
Ooh, I'm gonna check it.
But it's still going to take a long time before Seos can do that again.
159, that is very close.
I play a lot of Pantheon, let me tell you.
That's good.
159.29, in fact. So.
Well, what that tells me is he also should have some CDR in his runes then. Because if you don't have CDR in runes, I think it's that 163. Somebody check me on that in Twitch chat. Let me know. I'm curious, actually. But either way, when you miss that first one, you feel it because that first one can be so impactful. But once it's down, we talked about the power of Shopify's draft, the Scion ult coming in from long range, the Pantheon ult coming in from long range. Now you don't have one of those tools to try and make those cross-map plays, and you're kind of just being a little support gremlin now, dropping wards down and trying to not get picked by the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, as we see Isles chilling there. Let's see if Shopify want to go after, Let's see if anyone wants to go after this Rift Herald on spawn. Looks like Dig is setting up for it.
Also, too, you have to look at the teleports that could come in from the top laners. With them being right next to each other, you're going to have the extra push advantage on the minion wave first. Well, actually, now they're just running straight away from bottom lane. Fudge is like, fine, I will walk to get a clear ultimate. You have to teleport. So Shopify have priority here with the Scion.
Much better for the Scion because you can always TP back to that bottom turret, but it's Shaden that's going to kick things off. Teleport in from Surdy as well. Tomo just sees the Scion go by, and here comes Fudge. Choo-choo, lock down Isles, take him out of the fight. Seos flashes, Kaney follows, and will equalize the kills. Tomo very low, though. Here comes Fudge, big damage. B-Boy on the flank as well, forces Flash out of Tomo. Shaden as well. It's only Surdy left to fight, but he's got no team around him. He uses Flash. Followed from Fudge. Surdy's out of there. Shopify Rebellion trade up in kills, 1 for 2.
Yeah, and good recognition from Shopify of how, again, Fudge rotating up on the back half of that fight as we're going to see this again. And yeah, just watch Tomo because he actually gets chunked out a bit by the Ziggs before this, and then the Scion just kind of
ignores him,
drives by right into the fight as Surdy TP's there too. B-Boy basically takes Tomo out on the back side of this. And yeah, just really nicely done from Shopify to kind of chase them off of the objective and it's Palafox who ends up with that Rift Herald.
Which I actually really like because you want more money on this Yone. So if you can get isolated tower gold, it really benefits you. And he's going to be the one up here in the side lane, so he'll have that at his command.
And it's 18 minutes on the clock. Last game, I think it was around like 1930 when we finally saw Feats of Strength claimed. Still not claimed by either side here, but with Herald on this top turret, I think Palafox should be able to get it shortly here. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds though, so he doesn't have that long to go for the play. He's going to need to think about going to bot side or TPing down there.
Yeah, we'll see what Shopify want to do, but he's now, I mean, every single one of Shopify's players are now all ahead of their lane opponents. Just barely for Palafox.
That counts for Palafox. That's 5. That's a blue bar there, Emily.
Yeah, I think they should just...
Oh, nice little blitzcrank hook. Chain of Corruption followed up. Sails, not a lot of damage, actually, on the follow-up. And in goes Palafox onto the turret with the Ziggs bomb. They find an assassination. They'll lose Sails for it, though. It's Surdy now chasing down Fudge. Kaney teleported in here. Dignitas do not want to give up the fight. They're going to try and hold the line here. Shopify almost found something big, but it's equalized.
Yeah, Fudge has a teleport ready, so he's going to go for a reset recall. They also teleport Palafox out here, so Shopify coming back with more resources.
Sure, and also they only lost their support, whereas Tomo died. Seos is coming up, has the ultimate available. Isles finds the same hook. It's on a Palafox who has the snapback. Soul Unbound, great ability there. Shopify Rebellion will get this dragon.
Yep, and that'll give them the Drake as we see this fight again. So Blitzcrank hook onto the Pantheon. Maybe not necessarily the target you want, but then, yeah, Palafox on the backside of it, getting right onto Tomo and Isles, followed up with the Ziggs bomb. And in the meantime, they did pop that Herald down. The big thing was that Kaney wasn't there until the very end, right? And he could be so strong in these fights.
And also, out of that last tussle for the Herald, Palafox was one of 2 people to not flash. It was Isles and Palafox. Everybody else flashed. So Palafox flashing from Kaney's public execution. Big. Kaney will get a turret as we come back to live, though. But the dragon stacking has been thwarted, with Shopify picking up one of their own.
Yep, they got their feats, they got their dragon back out to split pushing, and I see a Pantheon in the side brush of bottom lane. A little trailing play there, so Palafox with a little bit of extra support from Seos, but they are unable to surprise Surdy or anything. Nobody overextends down there, so they're just going to be able to finish off that wave.
On the other side, you kind of have Isles, who's probably still fishing for some Blitzcrank hooks as they both back.
He's had a couple of big ones that feel like they're about to like turn the whole play, make the play happen. But then it's like always on to Pantheon, who's got his shield up, or it's on to Palafox, who's able to snap back to wherever he was, and it hasn't been that impactful of a pick so far. We're still waiting for that huge Blitzcrank pick that will really make a play happen for Dignitas.
Meanwhile, Sion just deleting minion waves with the Titanic Hydra up there, deleting the tower. So things looking like pretty smooth here for Shopify as the Otacon is available. Still, though, they'd love to finish the mid tower. They do have a Ziggs, so I think operation number 1 is going to be send resources mid to finish off this mid tower. They even call Fudge down, so it's all resources spent here. Try and push it up so they can satchel charge that thing before they rotate down.
So last game it was step number 1. This time it's operation number 1. So the game 3 is a mission.
It was actually phases.
Oh, it was phases.
That's true.
Apologies.
Close, really close.
Step 1 was game 1. How about that? They won that one.
True.
Yeah, that was a clean game.
Can they close out the mission this time around? 1,500 gold lead still, but we don't have a lot to fight over with that gold lead. It's 2.5 minutes until Dragon. Yes, Otacon is up, so maybe we get,
Otacon's a little dangerous, though.
Yeah.
I almost never like it when a team tries to sneak Otacon, because if they ever spot you, unless that thing's got 100 health left, they're probably going to just wipe you at the fight.
Yeah. I mean, you take so much resistance from the Otacon, which I think is why we see so many throws. But my big thing for Shopify is, again, try to take down this mid turret. Like Kobe said, we have our 2 other side solo laners set up in the side lanes to try to shove these out. But yeah, getting that mid turret down is going to be really huge for them.
Yeah, opens up the map so you can have more pressure with Scion and Pantheon ultimates. They're just walking by it. Breathe calmly, Emily. Breathe calmly.
They're not doing it.
They want a nice little wave as they pass through the river.
They wanted to check.
All right, we're good. They've walked far enough away from it that I'm okay.
Remember, focus. Mid-tower.
Mid-tower. That is the name of the game. That is mission.
We're going to get it because we have Ziggs. Let's go.
So now we are starting to see the power of that Ziggs. We hadn't seen it to full effect yet, but this is where you can just take these turrets so fast, especially as you get more and more AP as the Ziggs. So if ever Dignitas are not aware of where that Ziggs is pushing lanes, or if they ever get like picked out, lose a fight, they're going to lose a lot of their base.
Yep, and so now you're going to want to see them push up, get better vision control as they kind of cross the river line. Again, to set up their side waves with Palafox and Fudge, who just shoved in that top side. He's going to back.
Palafox playing very safe. And credit where it's due. Palafox weathered that storm of the mid lane counter pick, I think, exceptionally well. He's gotten to a position now where he's got 2 items. Look at that! Kobe, he's got Blade of the Rune King.
Yeah,
he's not going to get chunked down much.
When you have a near-death experience, you make changes in your life.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
You start setting that alarm for earlier. You start making your bed in the morning. You put a glass of water next to your bed.
Yeah, you make some changes. And Palafox made some changes. He got near to death, and you know what? He's been on point ever since.
He got a 401k now. This man's responsible.
And some life insurance too, maybe.
Yeah, talking about life insurance. Contracts might need some, but actually he's got the backup of Seos. Dignitas can't quite lock down the Lilia, and Contracts can just dance right on out of there.
Yeah,
Dragon's up, though.
Contracts is so hard to get on, and I also believe he completed Zhonya's as well, which he has not used.
And I think the bigger expenditure is the ultimate from Maokai and Aatrox, because Lilia Sleep is one thing, but it's such a big part of what Dignitas built, not having those big ultis for those two. And so with that lead, Shopify, another dragon.
And you want to look at that? Kobe, count the number of dragons for each team for me real quick.
That would be, for each team.
For each team.
Okay, 2 each.
You gotta listen, 2 each. Now remember we had the 3 each last time. We got a very long game because no one was really able to get that soul. I hear we have an updated longest games in the LTA. Do we think that last game was 3rd or 2nd? Where do we think it ranked?
I thought it was 3rd.
I thought the lounge already spoiled it for us. It was 2nd.
Was it 2nd? I don't remember, but I'm curious to take a look at that updated graphic. Here it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
They spoiled it.
And that's actually to Kobe's point, because if this one gets into that top 3, then they own all 3 of them. As we see the Scion ult mid, it looks like Tomo had to burn Cleanse and Flash to get out of that one. Shopify Rebellion, we're hoping to make this one a little faster, but Tomo does get out of dodge.
So they want to sweep the Olympic medals in longest games.
Yep. That would be incredible, if you can imagine. Oh, Palafox not able to quite land the ultimate turret shot. He's alive.
Another near-death experience.
Yeah.
But this time he's got Blade of the Rune King, so he's able to heal it back up.
We've got some near-death experiences on both sides, all right? I definitely think Shopify would have wanted that.
Okay, all right. You know what, Palafox? I see you.
Maybe now he's just accustomed to them.
He's a thrill seeker at this point. Palafox is like, nah, it wasn't close enough last time.
Yeah,
I can get
What?
closer.
I'm going bungee jumping, hang gliding. I'm gonna, jump out of an airplane.
Yep. It's cave diving, by the way. I learned that.
He's turned into a thrill seeker.
Monster truck driver.
Get addicted to it. Let me tell you, the adrenaline starts rushing.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, we see Kaney pushing in after, chunking a little bit low once again. They are rewarded on the side of Dignitas. So we stay very competitive, and that looks good for our goal of getting gold, silver, and bronze of longest games in the LTA history.
Did they spot what it needed to be? I think it was like 43 something was the 2nd longest, but what was the 3rd? What do we need to?
Well, so 43 was the game we just played.
And
then I think it's 42 something.
42 something. Okay.
So we basically need another game.
Thank you.
Yeah, like last game.
All right, can we do it? Let's get a Twitch poll for that one for sure. We have to at this point. Will we make it there?
I feel like that would require, this game specifically, require a lot more back and forth, if only because we just don't have the beefiness of the previous game, right?
Like in this game.
We have the Scion and then
sandwiches.
We got a decent amount. And
yeah, actually,
you know,
now I'm going through. I'm like,
We got Fudge. You know, we got the Maokai.
Yeah, we got a decent amount. Let's see here.
I don't know why I said Fudge instead of Cyan. Fudge himself is the meat.
Wow, we've really gone places in this cast.
You can't turn people into meat.
What?
I guess that.
Well, technically, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but technically.
I don't want any, meat flavored fudge or anything weird like that either. So
well,
let's go ahead and look at this Baron.
How did that taste for you, Kobe? Because Shopify Rebellion are starting that one off. Dignitas currently not spotting it, but Shaden's in the neighborhood. He should be able to see this. The us of the sapling. Shopify Rebellion, do they commit? 5 members here. Kaney could look to teleport in as B-Boy's hoping to hold the line from Dignitas. Shopify Rebellion are still on the Baron. Under half health right now. The Maokai ultimate will go out. Kaney not committing the ultimate. If Dignitas can just stop the Baron and it's starting to reset, Shopify back out of it. They want that teleport from Kaney. They're not going to stop the fight until that goes down. Chain of Corruption misses from Tobo. As now Fudge trying to frontline here. Shaden could be in some trouble. Kaney now joins in the fight, and it's good for Dignitas to kick things off. Kaney's still alive, burning to the Ignite. One last tick, he's not down. Contracts gets the Baron and burns down Kaney. B-Boy into stasis to dodge the rocket grab. Dignitas, they weren't quite sure if they wanted to contest. By the time they did, it was too late.
Nerves of steel here at the end. Where they're like, all right, when's he going to teleport? Is he going to teleport? We're getting it lower. We're getting it lower. Is he going to teleport? The tower's gone. Is Kaney going to teleport? And they're like, there it is. Teleport. Immediately ult on that teleport location. He hits Shaden. They get the combo. They burn him down. Even with that shield, the Ignite plus the Lilia burn is barely enough. And then Seos lives his near-death experience.
Yeah, and I was going to say on the back half of it, Palafox was still on the Baron, right? So they kept that. B-Boy goes golden and lives. Palafox.
The thrill seeker.
The thrill seeker. That's a face of a man who's looked death in the eyes twice.
Yeah,
more than that.
I think 7 I've counted this game.
Well, now they're looking in the eyes of Otacon. They have the Baron buff. Dignitas might approach yet again. Ultimates are back up. Dignitas can try and make some magic happen right now. They're down a little bit of gold, but it's not game-ending. Teleported from Surrey.
Oh my goodness.
He's going for the flank. Otacon's a focus. Big rocket grab from Miles, but the team's not quite there to follow it up. Shaden goes down. Dignitas got the Otacon, though. Shaden steals it, so they have the revives. Kaney and Surrey, they can run this fight. Shut down for Kaney. Palafox goes on a killing spree, but he's shut down afterwards. Isles trying to lock down B-Boy here, who's running for the hills. Surrey chasing him down. He's got the flash available. Will he try and use it to survive? No, he's pulled back in. Shut down to Surrey.
Are you not entertained? Baron to one side, Otacon to the other side. Dragon goes over to Dignitas.
What did you want, Emily? A back and forth banger. We got it.
Oh, God, that was... Oh, shades of the first time they met,
look at these
right?
Smites. Okay, look at these smites, because I want to see what contract smited, because his went on cooldown too. It's getting so close.
He's airborne. He's stunned. Contract smite.
I mean, they're
right here, yeah.
Oh! Seconds before dying, Shaden pulls it off.
Wow.
You gotta, as a jungler, you just gotta respect that.
Yeah.
He's going down with his dying breath.
That was like 0.1 second right there.
And he timed it like as contracts Qs. The Lilia Qs, and then it gets down, and Shaden reaches out.
Cue the music.
As he's dying.
The lighting effects. He's their savior. Dignitas get the Otacon, get the revives, and they really turned that Red Bull Baron power play into a negative play.
Well, not only that, but like it took the Baron off of what, nearly everyone, right?
I don't even remember who lived at the end of that one, because B-Boy was the one chased down. It's looking like contracts. Thank you, observers.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow. What a crazy play right there as Dignitas now find themselves here for the first time with a little gold lead. It's not much, but it's something to work with, and it just tells the story of this game. Shopify Rebellion were not able to maintain. We highlighted it again with their games against the top teams, how they've struggled to maintain gold leads, and we'll have this moment in the game later on. I didn't expect it to be Otacon after the Baron was secured.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just turns that Baron into like such an unfortunate situation for Shopify, right? Because they played that fight so well. They were able to get the Baron off of that, and then they just threw it all away. And now Dignitas are in a really, really good position.
Oh. And suddenly this series becoming one of the most exciting so far of the group stage. You only need to go to 3 games, and it is a nail biter. Both of these teams giving it their absolute all. Jat said it on the lounge as Palafox might just get picked off right here. He tries to ult away, but Isles is just waiting for him to come back. The team trying to back him up now. He's locked into place. Palafox airborne. Palafox goes down. Tomo, meanwhile, flashing away from Fudge. He's in a 1v1 versus the top laner, and he's not winning it, but the team might just win it for him. Dignitas find 2. They're gonna get Fudge. 3 fall for Shopify Rebellion. Contracts gets a big sleep, but there's just not enough follow-up from B-Boy. Contracts trying to do it himself, has Fudge in the zombie form. Contracts dancing around the fight, but cannot get the final hits necessary. Now he's locked into place, goes into stasis. Caney burning down, Caney does fall. Contracts making it happen for Shopify Rebellion, and I don't think he's done. One more bowling ball to chase. He will let Dignitas run away, but what a fight from Contract.
That's how you Zonias. That is how you use the Zonias. Holy moly. All right, let's go back to the beginning, Emily.
Yeah, so the beginning of this is Palafox getting caught out on this backside, right? And then Shaden is going to end up popping the Maokai ult. Fudge is going to see an angle onto Tomo on the backside of this. Actually goes down there. Surdy gets on top of Fudge, and then just watch Contracts through this.
So he goes in to play with the zombie right now. Even though Fudge drops, the zombie very threatening with Titanic Hydra, and then to kind of kite them back towards B-Boy. He Zonias is under tower, the first good one. Then Contract says, I have it too, I'll go in, baits all the spells, opens it up for the bomb over the top, and they get another one. And even though they sustain early losses, they 2 versus 4 kind of try and fight their way back out. The emotional roller coaster that is Shopify versus Dignitas.
And it was the B-Boy minefield. Caney jumped through it twice, took almost all the damage.
Well, look at how much damage Contracts
we have a
is
TP
doing
coming in live right now. Rocket grab onto Fudge. He's just completely picked off from the rest of the team. That's an easy one for Dignitas. Isles, we've been waiting for the big rocket grab. That might have been it. They got Baron up.
Yep, Baron's up, and the Dragon's going to come 30 seconds later, too. That death timer is a long one.
Yeah, but it looks like they're not committing to the Baron. Contracts lands a bowling ball, big chunk onto Caney and Isles. So Dignitas, I think they're going to play for that Dragon instead.
It's a soul, so you don't want to risk taking too much damage and losing a fight at Baron with Dragon Soul coming up. And Fudge's timer. So, well, this is the logical answer. Because you know you cannot go down there without Fudge, so you have to go try and pressure the other side.
And worst case scenario, they delay. Fudge coming up with teleport. That's a flank from Surdy. Here, Shopify Rebellion are about to have the pincers clamped on them. Can they get out of this one? Dignitas approach. Shopify do not see Surdy there yet. Contracts gets locked down for right now. He's getting knocked up. Caney's on top of him. Contracts down! Shut down over to Surdy. Now Palafox going to try and make a miracle happen here. He gets onto 2, but Tomo goes into the stasis. Dignitas get 2. Palafox in trouble. B-Boy's going down. Dignitas are doing it! They're crushing Shopify Rebellion for the Baron attempt. Public execution under the turret. Caney takes Palafox. Fudge TP's mid, but he's the only member left. Dignitas crush the fight.
Really excellent TP flank from Dignitas, right? Like, Shopify made them, like, forced them into a decision. They had that flank ward available. Eliminating Contracts so early is crucial in these fights because of the damage he does and the CC he provides. And really, really excellent stuff coming out of Dig, recognizing where they could send Surdy in for that flank, and he was immediately able to get onto Contracts.
There it is, the ward inside the wolf pit. Surdy teleports over, he waits for the deer to come prancing through the forest, and they take out Shopify's key player. Without the Lilia damage, Shopify, of course, they were already down the Scion, so the rest is like collection work for Dignitas.
Yeah, Palafox almost turns it onto Tomo, but he had the stasis. You were talking about the correct times to use stasis, Kobe. That was one of them, as Tomo was able to survive, and then the dive continues.
And off the back of that, Dig, as we see in that picture-in-picture, are going to get that Infernal Soul, right? So now they are in, basically it is absolutely their game to lose.
Yeah, and I gotta say, we pulled Twitch chat. Is this gonna be a top 3 longest? Over half, I wanna say it was around 56% said no. They're looking right here. I mean, it's close. It's going to be a long one. I think we can break top 5.
Now,
yeah.
buddy. We've seen 7,000 gold leads in this matchup before.
That's
no.
True.
But with the extra power of Infernal Soul, I do tend to agree with you in this case. I think I would put my money in with you.
They should be able to close out this game before making it into the top 3.
Dignitas just need to play patiently. Don't play too aggressive. We've seen teams throw leads. We've seen both of these teams throw leads. As long as Dignitas play smart, they can close this one out.
And just a little bit of stake setting here because the lounge brought it up, right? Like, this game is crucial.
Kaney could be caught out in the side lane right now. Public execution is used, but Contract's lilting Lullaby. Drowsy, is he gonna go to sleep? Contract's taking a lot of damage. Goes into the stasis yet again. Kaney knocked up, Contract's still alive. Fudge gets the kill, but the base is getting destroyed. Dignitas take down that middle inhibitor. They're gonna look for that bottom inhibitor turret, but that's something for Shopify. They at least find a pick as the rocket grab misses from Isles.
In a lot of scenarios, that's just what you have to do, is just go attack one of the side lanes when the other team is so far ahead, plus they have the Baron, and Shopify do get the kill, which puts a stop to the destruction, but one inhibitor down and a decent amount of the bottom side turret as well.
It brings us closer to that that potential third place.
Yep.
But
Look at the time. We're almost 40 minutes already.
Yeah,
I think we're top 5.
We might get it. This game is crucial between these two teams in their group, right? Because if they're both looking to try to potentially punch up and get that second seed or even get the third seed, right, to fight to stay alive, they need to beat each other.
It's a must-win. Essentially a must-win, and it's looking like Dignitas are the one to do it. This was not necessarily how the predictions went. I know there were some Dignitas believers, but the majority were thinking, Shopify should have the favorable matchup here. They beat them in the regular season in that best, or not regular season, still regular season, but in the positioning phase in the best of 1. But so far, Dignitas have really stepped up. I'm really looking at players like Isles in particular for having a fantastic series so far.
Well, and especially with how dominant their game 1 was, right? Like, this composition has shades of it in the triple TP, in the Ziggs, in the Pantheon, in the Scion, right? And they haven't been able to set up the same map or side lane control that they were able to once they got these incremental leads in the first game.
And I want to remind everybody, this game started with a double kill bot side. B-Boy and Seo started with a kill. Neither of them have gotten a kill since. It was a rough start for Dignitas. They had to find a way to come back into this one, and they have found just that. An 8,000 gold lead plus the Dragon Soul. It looks like we're stalling out a little bit here. We have 2 minutes till Baron, 2 minutes 45 until Elder. And Dignitas aren't going uber aggressive. Maybe they find a rocket grab to close out the game, but otherwise they can just use this Dragon Soul to guarantee the team fight win at the next big game-ending objective.
We're going to push in some waves, we're going to reset, and we are going to get that.
It's a dance!
We are going to get that long game. We're already at 41 minutes now.
42, I believe it was 42-26, if I heard producers correctly.
Okay, we're definitely making it then.
42-26. It's looking like the 43% of Twitch chatters that believed it are correct.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Shopify and Dignitas sweep the category. Well done. I mean, honestly.
It's always a banger, Kobe.
Impressive. Okay, so leading into
we hit the 68 minutes, though.
Leading into the next one, we have, key Guardian Angels to go with all these Zhonya's activatables that they do have at their disposal. So, Kaney here is full build since he stopped off and he got the shield cutting of the Serpent's Fang as well. But both him and Powerfox will have the revive, so they can go super deep. Not fear death in their, attempts in the
do
next
their best Powerfox cosplay. Yep.
And see what we can do, because we've got 37 seconds on the Baron, and the Elder's going to be pretty substantially delayed from that. So everybody's concentrating resources up to the top side of the map, and you can see all the vision too and the jungle leading up. So Shopify have done something here, a little sneaky into the side lane brush, but Kaney not getting very close to that brush.
And we see Surdy pushing out that bot wave. That'll be really, really good for this Baron setup, as we see.
Woo! We did it!
Oh, wow, ongoing.
42-25.
So now we just say, can you even beat yourselves? You know, personal best. Can we go longer?
You should always be trying to hit your personal best every time.
I agree with that sentiment. It looks like the Baron could be the deciding factor here, though. We're already early teleporting Surdy in. Shopify Rebellion don't have Palafox. He doesn't have great flanking wards either. So it should be a front-to-back. Dignitas are starting up the Baron right now. Contracts could go for it. He's been looking to take the tie for the most Baron steals. Can this be the one? Instead, it's going to be an engage, but Surdy comes out of Fog of War, and it's Fudge. It's locked out. Palafox in trouble as well. Focusing on the front line. Surdy buys so much space for the rest of Dignitas. Fudge falls, and Caney fighting Palafox in the 1v1 will find him. Contracts all alone. B-Boy's trying to get that damage in. Seos jumps towards his death. Dignitas did it! A double kill to Tomo as Palafox snaps back to his death. That's gonna be a clean ace of a team fight. Dig a ditch, 6 feet deep, tombstone reach, Shopify. Dignitas win the series 2-1.
What a great call and what a great series from Dignitas. They've improved incrementally. They're gonna take the win.
And what a fit!
Oh,
and a fitting inhibitor respawn!
Trolling
We can squeeze a few more seconds out of this baby!
Go!
Bro, I just want to win.
No. Get it to 1 HP. Get it to 1 HP. We can always get it to 1.
One HP.
He bought the Zonias!
Oh, I'm winning the game. I don't give a fuck.
No,
You guys can't
What a beautiful way to close that one out. The 3 longest games of the year belong to Dignitas and Shopify.